Hey guys, it is Thursday here in West Virginia, and I know I said I wasn't going to be back till Friday, but we got this really awesome lowrider set in yesterday in the mail, so I had to get it cracked open for you guys because I already promised you guys something else for free at Friday. A little bit of a mix of some Chevy and Mopar muscle and maybe a lowrider, but I wanted to do this set as soon as possible, and I already went ahead and took the cars out of the box because it was pretty intense getting the screws out. And then they also had adapters on the bottom of the cars that had to be unscrewed because that's how the cars were sitting in certain positions so they wouldn't fall out of position. They had these little spacers, and then they also had some wire tie, not wire ties, but like the garbage bag ties, the twisty tie things, and they were holding the car down too, so it was pretty involved. So I just went ahead and did that. But now you can actually see the graffiti art print in the background of the three cars. That's pretty cool. I've never noticed that before. So they did do a pretty good job on that. And then the set is Lowrider magazine set, so it is one of their products, and this is from Custom Series 1, and this set was from, well, it's upside down, but you can see 99, and also has a copyright of 98, so the set either was released in 99 or 2000, and you can see it was originally purchased from JCPenney. JCPenney used to be the shit when it came to Hot Wheels back in the 90s. They were like the collector headquarters. They were better than Walmart and all the places. When it came to getting like collector sets, you could buy all the treasure hunt sets through them. You could buy the black box stuff through them. So it was a really cool place to shop if you were a Hot Wheels fan. And back then, I was not really into Hot Wheels at that time. I was more into, I think, 1/18th cars or something at that time. But yeah, I wish I would have been into Hot Wheels because I would have been able to get some of the best sets ever released. But the problem is I probably would not still own them if I would have. So anyways, now flipping this box around on the backside, it does tell a little story, which is kind of cool. It's a little summary of the history of the American lowrider. So the lowrider phenomenon originated in the barrows of Southern California during the late 1940s. This unique folk art quickly spread throughout the communities of the Southwest and into the northern cities of Chicago and Detroit, where it gained national attention and popularity. Lowriders are not about speed and muscle, but style and beauty. Each one is a handcrafted artistic expression requiring months and years of dedication and commitment. They have been lifted and lowered, hydraulics have been added, factory paint removed and replaced with custom hand-rubbed finishes, all in the quest for a one-of-a-kind vehicle. Our collection of Caliente cars includes a 53 Chevy Bel Air, a 69 Buick Riv, and a 70 Chevy Monte Carlo. We think they are three of the hottest Bombas ever to slam the boulevard. Yeah, it says Bombas. So, because in lowriding, especially with Lowrider magazine, the bombs are the 30s and 40s fat fendered cars. I'm not sure what they refer to the other ones as. I just remember the bombs, and then like the Euro stuff they called it, but it was actually their JDM cars. So this is kind of weird, but that's just what it was called in the Lowrider magazine. So anyways, these cars will start with the 53 since his face is already poked out there. This is a beautiful car. The paint job is absolutely gorgeous on this thing. It's a candy, I don't know, I'm not going to say candy red. It's more of a burgundy, because candy red is a little more vibrant than this, but it's still a deep metallic color. But this is more on the lines of a burgundy or maroon. And with the silver roof and the silver insert here inside the chrome trim, is just absolutely beautiful. And with the chrome wire spoke wheels, just sets it off perfectly. I like these old Chevys out of the two, 53 and 54 are very, very similar. I prefer the 54 because I like the oval shaped marker lights. They have a little bit different tail light too. It's more of a flush lens. And the grill is slightly different. I think there's more teeth in the grill, but that's about the only differences. And also those like headlights are recessed a little more on the 54. So this car though is beautiful. 53, 54, whatever. It's just a beautiful car overall. So, but yeah, if I was making the Hot Wheels set, I would have made a 54 instead of the 3. But that's just me. So anyways, as you can see, it has the lifting suspension here, and in the back on this one it looks pretty good. They were part of the not suspension, but part of the chassis comes up with the rear end, and there's a pivot ball. The ball, it actually pivots side to side, and this is a lot more durable than the Revell stuff. This is made to last. The Revell stuff was not made to last. If you plan on like changing your car's display or position every single day, it's gonna break probably within a year or two. So yeah, they're not highly recommended for intensive use. Now the Hot Wheels ones, however, though, they are pretty durable. And then the front also. Now the front end, it does look a little goofy on them because it brings down the whole front cross member, the bottom of the engine, everything. So it's kind of a little, I don't know, gaudy. It's really like clumpy looking and stuff. So it's better from a side profile when they're lifted up. It looks good. Or if you're going to drop it like on a, say like a 3-wheel motion type thing, it's not too bad. It works out pretty good. So let me see here. I'm trying to, okay. Let's go like that. There we go. Oh, no, I'm doing a rear 3-wheel on that one. So there we go. So it's sitting there on 3 wheels. And this car is very nicely done. And that's another thing. The Hot Wheels chassis is a lot more positional than the Revell. You can actually get the Hot Wheels in every single position a lowrider can go in, plus some that are not even actual able to be done by a real car. So they are very, very not really flexible, but they can contort in very many ways. So anyways, the Revell ones, though, some of them can kick a 3-wheel motion. It's a little hard, and sometimes you can break them. I've already broke a chassis on one of my 59s trying to do it. And I fixed it, though. I had a junk lowrider from a long time ago. I was able to fix it. And the 59, though, is usually pretty easy to get in a 3-wheel. Same thing with the 61. But the others, it's really hard to get them into like right positions. But the Revell lowriders are king of the 1/64th lowrider. So next we have the 70 Monte Carlo, and this one's got a more crazy paint job on it. It's like a candy root beer, I would call it, with some green graphics on the top, and then the sides are done in like a candy green, like an emerald type, maybe candy green, and then you have the same kind of weird patterns. It's not really flames and it's not really tribal. It's like a combo of both, which it looks pretty good on the car. I mean, it goes with the body lines pretty good. And then this car, they went all out with it too and did everything in gold. The front grille, front bumper, rear bumper, everything is gold plated, which is pretty sweet. And the interior, you can see, is nicely detailed. It's got like a swivel bucket interior, and it has, I'm trying to see, it almost looks like a chain. Yeah, they tried to make it look like a chain style steering wheel, which is really cool. They did a great job on the interior of this car. And you can see the inlays of the door panels are green. So very cool. And even in the back seat, they're like single captain's chairs back there too. That's pretty cool. So, anyways, yeah, this car you can pretty much set up any way you want. Like, well, there's an easy 3-wheel on it. The front of this one is very loose, though, not like a lot of them. Usually it's pretty stiff. But this one, however, is a little bit loose on it. And it was brand new in the box, never had been opened before until I got it. So it has been sealed for 26 or 27 years. So now, last but not least, is the 69 Buick Riviera. Now, this is a Riv that Revell did not do. They have the 71 Boat Tail, which is a really cool lowrider. And we'll probably be unboxing one of those either on Friday or over the weekend. And this car, though, the only thing I do not like about what they did with this, they did not put spokes on it. It looks like the stock hubcap with gold plating, kind of. Oh no, it may be some aftermarket billet wheel. Now looking at it, it does look like a tri-fan, like a Billet Specialties or Boyd tri-fan from back in the 90s. But this car should have had spokes. This is probably one that I am going to wheel swap. I got a couple of Lincoln lowriders from Auto World coming with donor spokes. So probably the chrome spokes from the silver one are going to go on this car. And this thing has one wild-ass paint job, and actually the base paint of this thing is beautiful. It's a heavy metallic, like candy purple, and it has these really weird, once again, it's not really flames and not really tribal, stuff all over it, done in a red, fading to white, and then back to a green. So kind of a crazy paint job. And I wish somebody would do, well, actually I wish Hot Wheels would bring out their 64 custom Riv they did first. Not the new release of their 64 Riv, but the old school one. That was a Super Treasure Hunt twice. I think once in 08 and once in 13. But bring it back with the adjustable suspension, and it had the top chop. That thing was a very sweet looking car. That would have been a really good lowrider for one of their premium sets or one of the RLC cars with a lowrider chassis. That would be one. So if Hot Wheels is ever listening to my channel, hint, hint, we need a 64 Riv, the old school custom one with the adjustable suspension on it. So guys, that's it for this lowrider set. I just wanted to get it out of the box so I could play with it some and show them to you guys. So that is it for today. As I said, we'll be back tomorrow for our regularly scheduled program, the Free It Friday. And we do have some, I'm trying to remember here, we have a green light, some Chevy muscle cars, and I think a couple Mopars. And then we also have another Revell lowrider we may crack open too. We'll just see what all I have. But I know we have some Chevy muscle cars and Mopar muscle cars from Greenlight to get open for you. So enjoy your Thursday afternoon, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys.